Welcome back, Shimboners. Big pod for you today. First, just want to say sorry we missed last week. Had some sickness in my family, but we've got a huge show for you today. Joining me to help break it all down, we've got Fredo Frog. How are we?
Yeah, good, mate. Just fresh off watching the grand final yesterday, so we'll cover a bit of that as well, I believe.
Yes, and just a little update for the listeners. The Big Chief's still away. There's been some footage sent to me of him taking over karaoke in the Bali pubs, and my goodness, I don't think he would have been out of place next to the King or Arch or David King on the players' trips. But big pod today, we're going to talk about the contracts that have happened, the appointment of Zane Littlejohn. We've got some injury updates from the AFLW, touching on their game, tighter game than we sort of anticipated against the Bombers.
Yeah.
We're going to go Emma Carney Player of the Year award, and we're going to talk about the grand final. So let's crack in, but just wanted to say our next pod, we'll be discussing all things trade, doing a big trade preview. So send in your questions. We've got our yes, no, wait segment. So all your trade thoughts, send them in and we'll read them out. Right, let's start with some news from the men's program with some contracts. We'll get your thoughts first, Frog. So Zach Banch and Cal Coleman-Jones, 1-year deals. What are your thoughts there?
Oh, I love the Zach Banch getting one. I think we've talked about that in his review. Good work rate and shows a lot of skill in taking the game on. CCJ is probably a bit 50-50, but not so sure on that one. But I guess you've got to have a backup for the X, even though he's not really a ruckman. But
I think that's
take him over Teakle. Obviously, we've been through that, but it's still not. It's his injury history is sort of working against him, so he's got to get on the park, doesn't he?
Oh, and he needs another massive. I feel like we say this every year. He needs a massive pre-season.
What is he, 26 or something?
I think. Yeah, it makes sense to have a more senior body, whether you want CCJ or whoever, because if worst case scenario, Big X went down with a long-term injury, I don't think Goad could play week in, week out. I think we'll see him at some point in 2026, but he's still a long-term project. We can't rush him and expect him to be able to take huge workloads.
Yeah, it's hard with those list spots we talked about before. We haven't got many spots left, but we're 16th. On the ladder when we're finding it hard to cut people, which sort of doesn't make a lot of sense really, does it? But anyway. It
doesn't. But yeah, Zach Banch, very happy. He obviously got initiated into Baz's swagger, man. I thought it could be the quickest turnaround ever if he doesn't get a contract. But no, great to see him. I thought he apparently played through those rib injuries he still had in round 24.
Oh,
he came back in against Adelaide.
He only missed the 1 week, didn't he? So, yeah.
And from what I hear, Clarko absolutely loves him. So great to see him rewarded. Speaking of Clarko, we've had an addition to his coaching ranks with Tasmanian Zane Littlejohn joining. So a little bit about him for the listeners who might not be across. He started here, built a dynasty with North Launceston, and they're still dominating to this day. Then he went up to Brisbane to be a part of Chris Fagan's team there as a development and worked with the academy boys. Then poached by Hawthorn. He was a senior coach at Box Hill and also was coach of the VFL representative side twice. Yeah. So,
it's like the perfect CV, really, isn't it? Going in, and he's going to be the strategy coach. So I assume that's a new.
Well, we haven't heard
a new position, but what's strategy? No, it's good that they've got him in though. Obviously, the soft caps help that, but they haven't let anyone else go yet, have they?
No, but it's a great acquisition. I believe, yes, even if you're interested, have a look at. You can find on the socials some of his direction to players at the halftime huddle for Box Hill. Very calm, very great method, great football brain by all reports. So I think he'll be a great addition to help Clarko and sort of the Chris Fagan sort of direction into AFL, as we mentioned off air, that coming from a teaching background.
Yeah, you clearly got to be able to have the right way to teach different people. Take it different ways, and you've got to be able to relate to these young guys these days. I think that's really good appointment.
I love it. Let's touch on the AFLW. A couple of injury updates since we last recorded. Alice O'Loughlin with a lacerated, was it a liver?
Yeah, can be a really bad injury, that one. So they've got to wait and see on that one, I think. Croc said on his presser. Get some more news early this week, I think, but very unlucky.
Yeah. Oh, it's horrible. Yeah. And a setback for Taylor Gadd as well.
Yeah.
Which probably means the season over for her.
Yeah, I think he said 5 or 6, so it'll be touch and go, won't it? And then she's got to get the conditioning up and that. And we've clearly missed her like speed on the wings and half forward, and then now Lachlan, and then you throw in the late withdrawal of O'Shea. It's a bit of a different look for the team, but we've got a good bit of depth at the moment. But we clearly need their run back.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue into the match review where we got up by 30 points, but there was alarm bells early for a lot of supporters as we were down 20-0 at quarter time. Now, I wasn't as concerned as others because just knowing the group and knowing that the wind looked pretty strong, which for anyone who watched the coverage, it was funny because before the game they said that it doesn't really favour either side, the wind, and then it looked like peak Blundstone Arena.
When they pan back and you see the gum trees nearly snapping in half, I think it was fairly windy to one way. But anyway.
But yeah, obviously the Bombers started well. The O'Shea laid out, as you mentioned, hurt because when we were kicking, we fell into the trap of just bombing it long into the wind and it wasn't working. We needed to run and gun, use our hands and drive out with our legs, and she's pivotal in that for us. Yeah,
and they're bombing it. They're probably kicking it too high as well. Like there's a few that did that, and obviously the wind makes you need to kick it low, and probably the one that was against that was Sheeran. I thought when she got it, she was kicking it. She was a very hard kicker. She came in a bit low, and so was, I think, Mia King a bit as well. But and they were playing, the Bombers were playing a bit like we do, short chips through the midfield, and we were seeing our defence. I thought was a bit in a disarray. I thought a bit like either too far in front or too far behind, depending which way we're going.
Yeah,
and they got a couple out the backs, which was normally what we do to teams. So just on the back foot a bit. But it's good to have a test like that as well, I think, to come from behind.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Like you don't want to see him 0, but here we go. The commentator's going, scoreless quarter from North. And we shut him up in the second quarter a bit anyway.
Absolutely. But I've written here that we were fumbly early. The system, I thought, broke down for the first time, as you mentioned. They got out the back a couple of times, how much of the wind has to do with that and whether it took us too long to adapt. But we had the longest score review I've ever seen.
Oh, that was horrific.
Wasn't it?
Well, I just thought, I'll bounce the ball, it's a goal. Then they stopped. There must be a review. And it was like through the chip in the ball, but then it took them like 5 minutes to find the second camera footage of Carney's fingers.
It was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. It's hopeless.
Absolutely.
So we probably got a bit of luck there. They had a goal straight away, didn't they?
Yeah.
But then they got the 50 metre late in the quarter, which is our fault, but that was a bit of a gimme.
That was
shocking.
That was just a poor moment from Eliza Shannon, unfortunately. Like, just a dumb 50, returning it to the wrong player, and it wasn't even as if there was someone standing next to the person who got free. She gave it like 10 metres away, so we've got to clean that up.
I think when you're going into the hard winter, you need to create more stoppages and stuff. I mean, you can't always do it, but they're kicking it high and then it doesn't always work. You need to just get the repeat stoppages, get your numbers in and keep it in tight. But, there's always something they can learn, and the Croc will say that every time as well, and the players.
But as you mentioned before, I think it is a great learning opportunity. We can't go through the season not being seriously challenged, and it was, along with the Geelong game in round 1, it was definitely the most challenged we've been so far this year. So great for the girls to work through it and then respond in that second quarter, where we got going with a great Kate Sheila mark and goal. Another great pack mark from her in the goal square, but I still thought in that second quarter we made simple mistakes that we don't usually make.
Yeah, there's a bit of fumbling and handball's missing by a fair way. They just weren't quite on. But with that second quarter, the goal kicking was on. I think after that, Sheila won the next 4 goals were 4 of the best goals you'll probably ever see.
Oh, how good were they?
No, it's unbelievable.
Emma King just taking the PI
did the scoop with left hand and then the spin move. And then, you can go with blah blah if you want. Yeah, that was the next one.
Unbelievable. Just the check side. Thanks for coming. She was unreal.
Then
Blaheen Bogue, massive game from her.
We kept them. Laney kicked 1 point, and then after blah blahs, then Garner had the one. She had the fake. So sell a bit of candy and slotted another one. Then close to the end of the quarter, Riddell did that left foot snap, and that was a pretty handy goal as well, but the other 3 were a fair way in front of it. But Bogues was unbelievable.
Now, obviously, we didn't cover the Carlton game, but I had this in my match notes from the Carlton game. Riddell kicked a goal on her left foot that game as well. Like, her left foot has become so damaging, and I'm pretty sure it was when we were talking to Ruby Tripodi earlier before the season, and she was mentioning that Croc had sort of focused on that as an area of growth for Ash, as talented as she is, something she can work on, and she has absolutely taken her game to another level and so damaging on both feet now.
Yeah, it's definitely earlier days probably for a lot of the competition, if you're on your left, well, they just kick it anywhere. But now she's actually trying to kick a drop punt effective one. I mean, a lot of the league has improved. A lot of people bag it, but it's definitely the skills have improved immensely over the last few years, especially in our team.
Yeah. Someone I want to shine a bit of a light on who goes under the radar a little bit. From our back line, I thought we looked a bit shaky at times and unassured and a bit fumbly, but I thought Tessa Boyd was our best defender, particularly in that first half. She was so clean, made good decisions and offered a bit of run and drive when at times that we were just sort of falling into the trap of kicking it long. I thought she was more assured and made better decisions.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's just got a little bit quicker than a couple of the other ones in there. I thought she's been pretty good every game she played, but she missed through injury and came back in. But I think she's good with ball in hand too. She's got a bit of a sidestep herself and not afraid to have a run. With a couple of others aren't quite as confident doing that. So I hope she can. I mean, it's hard to know who's going to get squeezed out, but I think she probably deserves to hold its place at this stage.
Well, she's playing a similar sort of role to what Sarah Wright was in our premiership side last year. So obviously we don't have a timeline on Righty, so until we sort of get a better grasp on that, I think she's definitely got to keep a spot. And she's another one who's just taken advantage through the VFLW, has gotten her opportunity and is making the most of it.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And we've got they keep saying about how good a list is. A lot of our players have actually come through the VFL from other teams, like Ferguson and some others.
Yeah, Riddell went 2 years without being drafted. So.
You know.
But yeah, we absolutely lifted. And I thought Ailey Sheeran was huge, particularly in that second quarter when kicking with the wind. She's got such a penetrating kick that just gets over the back and lets our speedsters fall to the ball get to work.
She's actually really strong in the contest too, isn't she? Like, she loves the one-on-one and got enough acceleration and strength to get out of tackles. And that's been probably an unbelievable pickup. I didn't really know much about it other than when she played on Ghana last year. I think it did a pretty good job, but been a really good signing. Yeah.
Oh, and for long-time listeners of this pod, I've been donning Finn O'Sullivan as untackleable. I'll tell you what, Ailey Sheeran might be close to getting that title as well because she's just so strong through the hips and they can't tackle her.
No.
And fantastic game from her as well. But I didn't really take too many notes in the second half. I'm not sure about you.
Well, in the third quarter, we were back into the hard wind again, and we saw Bogue, I thought, was that the best point from a North player since Boomer?
It was, yeah.
Because that was like to get... I thought it was in, it just grazed the post. She's kicking into a win and did a big snapshot across goal, and that was just unbelievable. She's so immensely talented, yeah. Doing the number 10 proud.
Oh, absolutely. What a finish that would have been, though. And like, just crazy. She kicked one in the fourth. Was it the fourth? Where she kicked the big snap around the corner and drilled it.
Oh, that was great, yeah.
All her shots on goal were electric.
I did notice that we seemed to have a better structure in the third going into the wind, and we had a few shots. Only kicked that one goal. I think Craven might have kicked one right on the sideline with a bit of an assist from AGM. I think she came flying through, and she shows a bit of promise too. I think she gets involved in a lot of plays, and I think she's probably not going to stay in the team much, but there's definitely a player there. Yeah, another Irish coming there. She's got some wheels.
Well, I think while we don't have Gath, and I don't know how long O'Shea will be missing, but we've got a player because she's got that speed.
Bit of X factor.
But it was a hot footy in that third quarter. Better spend a bit of time talking about Essendon. I thought they really brought it. And you mentioned before we recorded about their system and how they sort of mirrored a little bit of the way we play.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, keep retaining the ball, and that little one that used to play for us, forgotten the name, that little Gary Hocking haircut sort of thing, Neskin or whatever. Yes. She used to be on our list a few years ago, but she's certainly improved and good ball user and hard at it as well. But
But that end-to-end goal was fantastic. The Craven one you mentioned, we hadn't seen a goal kick to the right of screen up until that point, but we changed our game a little bit, went away from kicking it high and long into the wind and sort of using short, sharp kicks or run and carry with the ball.
Yeah, I think it was Bruton that set up.
Yeah.
AGM, wasn't it? And she's always a good kick, Bruton.
But Carney quiet. Got some defensive work set on her from the Essendon side as well. So, sort of without Erica O'Shea and with Carnes being shut down a little bit, it was good to see other players
step in. Yeah, that's just 100% there.
Last quarter, I want to touch on one moment. Vicky Wall went straight through the front of the stoppage, and there's no stopping the big Bricky when she gets going, is there?
When she kicks it, it's like she's kick it into the next street or something. She kicks it so hard.
You wouldn't be putting your hands down to smother that on a cold winter's day, let me tell you.
And what's the name? always also got a good role from the ruck contest, I think. Was it Sheila or someone else got a good goal out of the ruck, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was Sheila.
Sheila, sorry, yeah.
Kick her second.
Did the Tommy Hawkins.
Yes. Any other notes to finish out the game there?
No, I think, well, even with 12 minutes to go, I've written down, it was still only a 10-point margin. Obviously, we had the wind, but that's probably the closest it's been for a while for us, I think. So obviously, we piled on another 2 or 3 at the end and did it pretty comfortably in the end. But it was higher score of the round kicked against a winner. It's a bit of a random stat, but the other teams. So we had the most kicked against us of all the winning teams, which is that a bit of a concern, or is it just a bit of unlucky with the win? But we haven't had 5 or 6 goals kicked against us for 2 years, I don't think. So that's just something a bit of a mini watch list there with the defence. I'm a bit worried when we play. I don't know really how good Melbourne are. They're undefeated, but they play a lot of rubbish teams.
Yeah, they've had
I feel like their tools, if they can get it into their tools, they could stretch us a bit. Maybe we'll wait and see, because we probably won't play them till the finals. But we don't play them this year, so.
I think the lack of speed got caught out a little bit as well. So whether we need to make an adjustment and put, when Ricky is out, put a Tess Craven or someone or an Amy Smith down there to play a bit more defensively will be an interesting watch. But taking a look at next week's game, we play Sydney, who have been highly touted, although they've had a bit of a rough trot the last couple of weeks. They lost to the Giants, which was a surprise. But
well, they had the soft draw at the start either, and apparently the other big challenges, and they fell in a hole, haven't they? But we'll see what they bring. Obviously, coach is pretty good with them, so.
Down here in our stomping grounds of Launceston at UTAS Stadium, I'll be there. I'm not sure if
we'll be going. Yeah, and the other thing about yesterday, we had that bit of umpiring in the middle of the third quarter when Riddell picked it up. The umpire was on the behind her, so how did she know she wasn't trying? It was holding the ball.
Yep.
Then the next possession, have another one. I was like, okay.
I think it was 4 free kicks in 30 seconds.
That was shocking. The umpire was definitely just guessing. That's where the other umpires need to come in and, they had that in the men's game yesterday. Someone called it differently, but they saw it differently, didn't they?
Yeah, well, boy, we'll get to that when we touch on the grand final, but the free kick count at half-time, very interesting in the men's grand final. But, right, let's move on to the Emma Carney Player of the Year award. I'll let you go with the new ball. What do your votes look like this week?
I'll tell you when I find them. I've given 5 to Bogue. I thought she was great, and I've been basically calling. We probably all have calling since round 3. She has to be in the AA consideration. We're definitely in the team. I think not just the squad with that many goals, and she's not just that. Her kicking is like as good as the girls that have been playing since in Auskick. Like it's not just banging it and it's going through. She's actually got really good skills and work rate. And
well, she's second in the women's Coleman. I don't know if it's got a name.
I don't know
but it's only Chloe Malloy ahead of her.
Yeah,
who kicked 7, I think, or 6 or 7 in the game. So
Bogue yesterday had playing as basically a medium forward, I suppose. Had 12 disposals, a couple of clearances from 256 metres, 2 goals, 1. I mean, that's a great game in windy conditions. So I gave her the 5. So. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, roll
on. 4 I've given to Sheeran. I thought she was really good as well. Obviously, 18 disposals, 429 metres, which is massive. 6 inside 50s, 12 intercepts, and I've written loves the attack on the ball and the player, long, powerful kick, and very flexible, playing a bit of everywhere this year. 3 I've given to Mia King. I thought she was quite strong early when we were struggling a bit. I've put the note down. I thought she was getting a lot of it early, and she ended up with 22 with 5 clearances, 7 tackles as usual. Given 2 to Ash, just another great game from her, 28, and 1 to Garner.
Very good. I gave my 5 votes to Blah Blah as well. Blaine Bogue. Thought she was the difference maker in that game. Her pace, her kicking is unreal. She's just an absolute X-factor player, and those 2 goals really were low percentage opportunities, and she converted, and it was at really important times, so I gave her the 5. I gave 4 votes to Jazzy Garner. I thought she was important in the contest, and I thought our midfield got beaten a lot of the day, but another classy finish for her to step out the front of the stoppage, give a bit of candy, and important time for a captain's goal. 3 votes I gave to Sheeran as well. I thought she was fantastic, and a great point you raised about her versatility. We've seen her at half-back, we've seen her on the wing, we've seen her in the guts.
Yeah.
She's just been such a good acquisition. 2 votes I gave to Ash Riddell. Probably got tagged out of it a little bit in the second half, but it's a quiet game from her, and she's had 28 and kicked a goal.
Crazy.
So, come on, Ash Lift. No, just she was brilliant as usual. And the one vote I gave to Tessa Boyd. I sort of mentioned a little bit earlier in the pod that I loved her game, across half back, swooping and being really sure of hand, and one grabbing it in the back line at times when others weren't. So she got my one vote. I'll just load up the leaderboard. Sorry, but it's getting quite tight. So we've got I'll go from the top. Ash Riddell on 51 votes, Jazzy Garner's on 33, and then it's an absolute log jam. I'll rapid fire through here. Bogue 19, Mia King 17, Ruby Tripodi 16, Amy Smith 15, Sheila and Birch on 13. So just shows the depth, I suppose. That
definitely, yeah.
It's tight from Ash down.
I think he's another thing about doing the time management. I think Emma Carney's only playing about 66% game time, which is really good because there's no need to be her to be playing 70 or 80% more. You've got to make sure her calves and whatever are okay, and it's really good management by Croc and the staff, I think, just to manage some of those veteran players through the year. It's really good, and it gives the other girls more opportunity as well. So we're not relying on Carney. She's obviously really good. She had some good moments yesterday as well, but I think just good management in the sort of a season is over before you know it in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if we do go down the path of managing players in terms of rest towards the back end of the season. Like, you could see potentially a world where players who get beat up a lot, like Rennie or Sheila, or whether they...
Well, there's going to be some interesting selection because if King's finally got a chance, and I thought she did pretty well. And Rennie, it's going to be hard for anyone to ruck, even though Sheila gives her a bit of a rest, but that sort of can take away from the structure up forward. It's going to be it's a tough decision, isn't it? They'll probably end up going to stick with both now, aren't they?
Rennie, I think so.
King, but then who misses out if everyone's available? It's a tough one.
It's a job I wouldn't like.
Nah, there's going to be a couple of harsh calls if those other if like Gat comes back, for instance.
Yeah.
Who goes out? Well, it's and defenders, same sort of thing.
Well, it's the opposite problem we have in the men's.
Good problem, yeah. Can we get rid of 6 or 8 at a time? But
yeah. In the men's, we're sort of calling for 5 or 6 to be dropped each week, and with the women's program, it's how unlucky are the emergencies? And
yeah. Well, I think AGM, she's been emergency. She hasn't actually been named yet. She's come in as a late inclusion 3 times. It helps she might not hold a spot, but gee, it's good to have her as depth. She's like the way she goes about it, as they say. But
yeah, you could see her sort of developing and sort of being like a Bogue impact player. Yeah. I mean, nobody's going to... Well, you wouldn't imagine that people are going to take as big a step as she's taken, but she's got that raw potential to be a sort of electric half forward like we see from Blah Blah.
They obviously knew what they had with Bogue, but then she really only got in because she played really well in the last practice game, didn't she? And Croc even said, we have to put her in on a form, and then I think they left Wall a week later because she hadn't been there for pre-season, but then she's just... I don't think anyone thought that she's going to be this good. Like, that's crazy what she's doing.
Oh, and you just...
To be in, like, in the first season, well, I know she's 25, but the first season she's kicked... No one's ever kicked 2 goals a game in their first season.
Well, but she's... Untapped potentials come through, and it's interesting because if Vicky, does the full pre-season and Emma King doesn't have a hamstring, I believe it was, earlier in the year.
She might just been in emergency
she probably
for a while.
Wouldn't have played.
Yeah.
So...
I'm glad. Good. Speaking of signings, they signed her up as well, didn't they, for another year?
Yes.
Yeah. And Ferguson for 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the list manager, A+. A+ in the AFLW. Who is it? It's not our man Rovat, is it?
His name. I'm not sure. But the strategy of picking exactly the right players they need to fill in the holes they've done basically every year, added the right piece to the puzzle, and the rapport like Croc has with the girl, it's just amazing. They're all on the same page. They all want to improve, even if they're veterans. They still I can get better at something. That's just really good commitment for them. They've all bought in. So
the culture's amazing as well. Like we saw Alice take a lot less to stay. I'm sure that's the case with a lot of the players who have re-signed,
and a lot of them not just getting less money, but also less opportunities to be the person that gets targeted the most, because you can basically not touch the ball in the quarter up there because there's a lot of other good options then they'll pop up themselves. But that's just, that's if you want to be successful, you've got to be prepared to do that.
Exactly. Like, just because we were speaking about it before, like if Alice was at a bottom 6, bottom 8 side, like she'd be full forward getting a lot of the looks, wouldn't she?
Oh,
like she'd be the deepest forward, where it's got to play a little bit more selfless role because we've got so many stars down there that you're not going to get 100% of the looks, and this is a problem that might face our man Sylv next year with our improvements throughout the forward line and the emergence of Trembath and co. He's going to get less looks, where in the past we've seen 100% of the footy focused through him, but in doing so you get better looks one-on-one because it's a lot less unpredictable going forward.
Yeah, it's with it. Yeah, I think I wrote some notes earlier about the W. Like the mids are really good at getting to multiple contests. They don't give a handball and just watch it roll up. They run again in case they need it. And they'll do it. They do it pretty much both ways as well. They'll run and they'll be the tackler. Like a lot of them do different roles, but they've all bought in. So I don't know what Croc's done there, but he can bowl it and sell it because it's amazing.
Oh, and the win streak, I haven't even mentioned, it goes to 19.
Yeah.
So we're looking for 20 down in Lonnie this Saturday at 3:05.
Yeah. And you look at, like, Randall had probably a poor game with the kicking, but she's involved like 6 or 7 scoring things. She's always bumping she gets down 1 on 3 sometimes, and she bump the ball out of bounds, bump the player over. Like she
does a lot of 1% unrewarded efforts.
And she could go, another one that could be at another club, probably maybe kick some more goals, but it's probably not going to be successful. So,
Well, we saw in the doco that how much it meant to her to finally get grand final win after losing 3. I think she lost 1 at Brisbane, or 2 at Brisbane.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then one with us. So, players the buy-in of sacrificing, potentially a couple of extra stats to play in a successful environment, and the surge for back-to-back continues.
Well, and because our skills have improved year by year, like even Riddell, like she's gone from 29 possessions a year to 36. To go up by 7 at her already elite levels, like what's going on there? And I've got Amy Smith 12 to 19. That's a massive jump in them. Tripodi 13 to 18, O'Shea 8 to 14, Gat 11 to 14. That's a lot of players lifting up, and now they haven't really dropped away. We're just dominating the possession for most of the times. Yeah, good use, not just stat padding. That's just good. They do the extra handball to get the whoever it is, Craven, whoever gets in a better position than the person. I could just kick it. No, you're in a better spot. Yeah, the skills have improved so much. Yeah,
I had this as a talking point in my Carlton notes, but obviously we didn't get an opportunity to talk about it. But is Amy Smith our most improved player? Like, because it's a hot competition to see who it is.
For her, who's, to be fair, probably 3 or 4 years ago, was probably on the fringes of the team, but I don't think she had a full football background. I don't think. Was it basketball? It might have been.
Yeah,
and didn't come through the draft as such, did she? But her skills and her work rate, and running, everything's just all improved off the charts. She's a lock now. As much as you can be, I think. Yeah.
And this team just continues to go to another level. Like, how easy and how often do we see in all sports around the world where you win a premiership or a championship and you get complacent and sort of the old premiership hangover, as they call it. But the drive from this group to continue to want to get better, and everyone's getting better from the top down.
And they're also coming up basically as everyone wants to take them down every week. It's these lower teams, it's like this is their grand final. We're going to take it to North today, and it's good that they're trying to do that because they respect that we're really good. And the girl, they're just they're taking it all on as they go, aren't they? So hopefully they do get the chocolates the end of the year, but there's a bit still to go, isn't there?
Well, we're only at the halfway point now. But a good point you raise about becoming the hunters, and someone who is going to have that problem yet again next year is the Brisbane Lions. As we segue into the grand final, they got the job done by about 45. I don't have the exact number in front, but they got the job comfortably done in the end, back to back. And I'm not really overly fond of either side, but I was happy to see Geelong lose.
Same here. I was happy. I tipped Geelong all the way in all my tips, but I was actually stoked that I got them all wrong, and the Lions one. I don't like them that much, but I like them more than I can't stand Geelong, and I can't stand the coach of Geelong.
No.
just reeks of arrogance, and yeah, happy to see the Lions, I guess.
Kerno will go there for 400 grand and a couple of land packages and the CEO of Cotton On and whatever. What's his other job? Chris Scott, I can't think, but you know, there's definitely...
it's on some board or something.
When's that audit coming out?
They'll get buried.
Yeah. But yeah, it was quite a good game.
It was.
Up until Brisbane broke it open. It was a bit low scoring, but tight.
Sometimes
in the
you don't mind that. It was
hard.
There's no easy kicks and that going on. It's some big tackles, like even though Cam Rayner didn't touch it early, he put in some couple of massive tackles, and 2 of them on Bailey Smith, which was disappointing to see, wasn't it? But, took the wind out of him a bit, but
Zach Bailey, like what a player he is, and if he could kick straight, I think he could be. I've said this numerous times throughout the year, but he could be the best player in the comp. He gets a lot of
very
looks
good,
at it.
and he got, even though he missed those points early, and he got a lot of ball up the ground running through, and his disposal's really good, isn't it? Yeah, he was good to watch. I didn't write many notes really, just jotted this down after the game, but. And like I wrote, Charlie Cameron see some really clutch goals. Like he didn't do much, had a pretty up and down year, but gee, when he was on. You could see the confidence. You thought, I'm on here, I'm going to kick them all.
Well, Fags copped a lot of criticism throughout the year for not dropping him because he had a really lean patch over about 10 weeks. I reckon from memory, he kicked about 6 goals. So
I just think someone like him, though, you can do the old Brad and back the boys in, but I think he's someone he's got to be out there. I think unless he's
we turned the game, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
But it's scary with Brisbane. Like, they're so young. They're going to get... I think it's Daniel Annable. I could be wrong there, but he's a top 15 sort of pick. It's academy. They've got a free shot there. They've got the Ashcroft boys.
And they've got Allen.
They've got Oscar Allen, Sam Draper coming in, free agents. So they're not going to lose much. Like, Carlisle Cheese being rumoured to go. Starcevic is being rumoured for West Coast. He's got a 6-year offer in front of him there, so... But they've got so much to come back. Like, you look at that injury list, they've got Kitty Coleman, they've got Noah Answorth, who's a good role player. Like, he slot straight in for Starcevic. Lincoln McCarthy. Eric Hipwood's another one they didn't have. Like, it's going to be scary. They're a huge chance to go three-peat and have a proper, massive dynasty through the 2020s.
Oh, definitely. It could be, yeah. And they've won that with 2 key forwards. They're both still quite young in their careers. Well, one was in, what's his name, was in his 7th game.
Gallop,
and the other, Norris, only, 25 goals, something like that. So they didn't do much, but they made a contest. They made it hard. And at the other end of the ground, you had Harris Andrews just dominating. It shows you how important having a really strong key defender is, isn't it?
Oh, he was huge, and he was my roughie. I had him at $51 for the Norm Smith and ended up second in the voting. But, yeah, big shout-out to Mrs. Baz, who tipped the Norm Smith medal winner in our predictions, and also the winner of Brisbane as well. So she cleaned us up.
Might have to get her on the pod.
Yeah,
bit of common sense in here.
It would be unheard of, a bit of common sense on with us. But yeah,
where's Dangerfield? It too.
Yeah, well, wasn't he quiet?
Complete opposite of the prelim, wasn't it?
Yeah. But all their stars were pretty quiet. Holmes played a good game.
He was good. He was the best for them early, I think.
Yeah. But Lachie Neale, like the brilliance that he brought when he came on as the sub, and 17 disposals and that huge goal from about 50 where the calf.
It's like the media, though, and supporters or fans of AFL were just waiting for it to go wrong, and they could just point the finger, I told you shouldn't have played. He's too good a player to not play. And good that they used him on that role. I mean, if he wasn't right, he wouldn't have come on. He obviously just wasn't conditioned for 110 minutes or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it worked perfectly for them.
We got to think as well, like how hot it is at the start of the grand final. By the half time, when he was injected, the game sort of simmers out. It's a little bit more spread footy, less in the contest. So it's perfect time to bring him on.
The opposition midges and say, "Oh, great! Now Lachie Neale's in here, fresh."
Yeah,
like someone else to look on, even though the scores were tight at the time. But it worked really well for them.
But pretty good, interesting game, wasn't it? Like then the Lions slammed on 11 goals in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, it was just showtime at the end, wasn't it? So you look at look in history, it'll look like a bit of a one-sided thing of what it was, but it was definitely right up to 3/4 time almost. It was still on, wasn't it? Yeah,
good to see some of our boys in attendance getting that little taste, a little bit of extra fire in the belly. Nick Larkey and our man Harry Sheasel.
Yeah, Harry's
both in
everywhere, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I was at the gym Friday morning and had a look up and they've got Channel 7 on. He's on Sunrise.
Yeah.
Getting interviewed by kids. Some bloke asked him how much he earns. I'll keep that one under wraps, he said. But, no.
It'd be a fair bit now. He's into the... Is he out of his... He's done his 3 years, so now he's in the big money.
And rightly so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, hopefully it's not too long and we're back up towards at least September.
I was out and about yesterday. I did see a couple of North shirts around, and then I said to the guy filling up my car, I said, mate, how long until we get it's our turn to play on this game instead of just wearing the T-shirt? But anyway, can only wait.
Hopefully not long.
Yeah.
Just an announcement for our SC Rings tipping competition. Thanks again to the guys for jumping on as our sponsor. Bull's Cooking has led most of the way and he's ended up with the chocolates. So big congratulations. We met him, Frog Chief and I met him at
awesome.
The Geelong game before Jezza kicked 11. Used all his magic there because he did nothing yesterday. But he's our winner. So please contact the page and we'll send your ring over.
Not that easy sometimes when you're leading all the time. Did you play the straight bat and pick the favourites, or do you got people? What did you win by, 1 or 2 or something? Was it was someone else pretty close, and there's a bit of a gap to the rest of us Muppets, a fair way behind.
Yeah, look, it wasn't another poor year for me in the tipping space, but what can you do?
Not much, mate. I don't know where I was, 10th or 12th or something.
Yeah, you won out of...
I didn't even tip this weekend, so what did they get? The away team, whoever that is?
Brisbane.
Oh,
there you go.
I think that's happened a couple of times anyway.
Fool's gold.
Yeah.
Right, that's just about us done. Anything else from you before we finish up?
Nah, mate, thanks for having us on again.
No worries. And just a reminder, get your questions in. Voice messages as well are encouraged. We've got our yes, no, wait segment. So even if it's something that hasn't been rumoured, just something you want to float in terms of the trade space, let us know. We do a quick fire segment based on cricket. Yes, no, wait.
Yes, no, wait on the Chief on karaoke.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, from what I saw, a big no. No, and probably kick your own stumps over, I would have thought.
No, it's good to have a crack though, wouldn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's about us. We'll be back to preview a huge trade period where, I don't know, there's a few mumblings going along about what we might be more involved than you think. So watch this space.
Does that officially start? Not this Monday, the next one, does it?
Well, free agency opens on Friday.
For some reason.
Friday, 3 o'clock, will probably.
And no one ever matches the big
Charlie Spargo.
Yeah,
he'd probably be.
He'd be signed up by
he'd
Friday.
Be on the website by 3 o'clock Friday. You'd
probably.
imagine. Right, that's us. Thanks again for your continued support. Please like, subscribe, and follow on whatever platform you're on. Keep an eye on our socials so you can get your questions in for the trade period. Again, apologies that we were unable to review last week's game as I was crook but we'll continue to pump out content till the end of the year. We appreciate your support. Until next time, go Roos!
So join in the chorus and sing it one and all. Join in the chorus, North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me.